Hello, welcome to our TV program Discover Turkey. And in our previous program, we talked about Turkey, and the general information has been given by me. And today we're going to talk about Istanbul as we planned, and you're going to learn much more things about Istanbul. Istanbul is in between two continents, Europe and Asia, and Turkey built 3 bridges over the Bosphorus. And today, Istanbul is connecting Europe to Asia with 3 bridges and also a tunnel. But if you haven't visited Topkapi Palace and Sultan Ahmed yet, I'm going to give you some information about these places. Istanbul Bridge, there are 3 bridges we have talked, and the first one was built in 1974, a long time ago, and this bridge was Bosphorus Bridge at the beginning. The name was Boğaziçi Köprüsü in Turkish, but it was changed 15th July of Martyrs Bridge because many people were killed by some terrorist groups on the bridge on 15th of July 2015. As for the remembering these martyrs, the name of the bridge changed to 15th July of Martyrs Bridge. And the second one was built about 30 years ago, Fatih Sultan Mehmet Bridge. Shortly in Istanbul is called as FSM Köprüsü. The FSM is the capital letters of Fatih Sultan Mehmet Bridge. And this bridge is the second one because the population of Istanbul is growing, and it was a necessity to build the second bridge, and it was completed in late 1980s. And the third one was built over Bosphorus, Yavuz Sultan Selim Bridge. It was built 2017 around and opened, and these bridges, one of the best and the biggest bridges of the world as well, especially Sultan Mehmet Bridge is in architectural style. In that architectural style is the biggest one in the world. And Istanbul was connected to Asia, the Asian part of Turkey, of course, by Eurasia Tunnel. And President Erdogan, he and his cabinet completed Yavuz Sultan Selim Bridge and also our Eurasia Tunnel. And when we look the Golden Horn, it's in Haliç. Haliç in Turkish language, but the world knows Haliç as Golden Horn. And but some tourists, when they come to Istanbul, they think that Haliç is the Bosphorus, but and also they think the bridges over Haliç, they think the Bosphorus bridges, but no. The Haliç has got its own bridges. The new one also was built over Haliç. In fact, Da Vinci, who read Byzantine books which were sent by Akşemseddin, the teacher of Fatih Sultan Mehmet, he himself drawn a bridge project while he was living in Italy. And the Golden Horn is a very beautiful area. You can see some historical places in there. And also the Sultan Ahmed Square is the most popular part of Istanbul, and in Sultan Ahmed you can see Sultan Ahmed Mosque, San Sofia. It was church. Then it was converted to mosque long time by Sultan Fatih, and today it's open for your visits as a museum. And Sultan Ahmed Square has got this blue mosque. And as you can see, in between the minarets, vakfet, yasha yasha, the meaning means donate, live, and make live the poor. And it is encouraging the rich people to give donations to the poor people, especially in Ramadan, of course. And the Sultan Ahmed's mosque, when you enter inside, you can see blue chinas inside, especially under the dome. Dome has got blue chinas, very beautiful. That is why the British visitors and English-speaking visitors, they called this mosque as Blue Mosque. And also another important building is St. Sofia in the square, Sultan Ahmet Square. You can see Hagia Sophia, and another one is Topkapi Palace, of course. Ottoman sultans they resided inside of this palace, and they governed Europe, Asia, and Africa long time in this palace. Today it's a museum, and all around the world they are coming and visiting the Topkapi Palace. Inside of the Topkapi Palace there are beautiful chinas on the walls, and also some verses from Quran and wishing some good things for the Sultan and the Devlet, that the states in Turkish, Devlet in Turkish, state in English language. And Sultan Ahmet Square has got some kiosks, in Turkish, köşk. Köşk, the kiosk name normally is a corner and you can buy something on the streets, but that kiosk word comes from Turkish köşk, and this köşk is a beautiful house, and the outside and outside and inside were well built. When you visit Topkapi Palace, of course, you can see Kasikci diamond. It has got very strange story as well. It's one of the most famous diamonds in the world. 86 carats, and there are about 49 little diamonds around of it, and it is really priceless. And a lot of tourists are coming, and they are trying to see this diamond. It's open for the visitors, and you can see the entry of the Topkapi Palace, the museum. Many people are entering and seeing beautiful palaces, köşks inside of it. And just outside of the Topkapi Palace, you can see Sultan Ahmet Çeşmesi. When we translate into English, it is Ahmed III's fountain. Those days, there were no taps in the houses, so people were coming to take water from these fountains. So that was making their life easier. And as you can see, the Topkapi Palace entry is very beautiful, and from Africa, Europe, all around the world, they're coming. And there are also Sadaka stones. Sadaka stone means the long time ago, during the time of Ottoman, some rich people, they were bringing money to the Sadaka stones. They were putting inside money, and the poor people, they were coming in the middle of the night or after midnight. They were taking money, but not all of it. How much they need, they were taking the money, and they were leaving the rest of the money inside. Of course, today it's impossible to see money because if you leave money, and they take all, unfortunately. And Sadaka stone, as you can see here, and it was very important for the poor people, and they were not suffering. In around of the Topkapi palace, if you walk just about 100 meters, you can see Yerebatan palace as well. Yerebatan palace was a water store of it was water store of Byzantine Empire, and they were collecting water inside of it. That is why Istanbul, it was Constantinopolis long time ago. It was under the siege of the other armies, and that is why they didn't have any difficulty about drinking water just because of this Yerebatan water palace, because it was always continuous water store for the Istanbul people. Istanbul has got the first modern university in the world. Today, Istanbul Üniversitesi is the oldest modern university in the world. When you come to Istanbul, you can see these places, of course, but the Sultan Ahmed Square, there was also a hippodrome, and the warriors, they were coming around of these stones. This is Dikili Taş as well, and it was from Egypt. It was brought from Egypt, and it's like an ornament inside of Sultan Ahmed Square. And there was hippodrome, and the warriors, they were around of this place watching the war fights, because they were racing by carts, and also they were fighting as well. And they were watching the horse cart competition as well. And maybe you remember Ben-Hur film long time ago. It was filmed by United States, and there was a scenery, the scene, the fighting scene. It was from Istanbul, because the warriors are coming, and all around the world, especially from Africa, Europe, and Middle East, Asia, and they were doing this kind of competition, but it was not very peaceful competition, because it was free to kill each other to win the contest. So today, unfortunately, the hippodrome is underground because of the earthquakes, and also the new buildings were made over the hippodrome. And today you can see the stones here, and the tourists are coming and throwing money inside around of these places, and they wish something from the gods to realize their wishes, and also praise. And Istanbul is very strategical area. The Napoleon told about Istanbul, very interesting thing. He said, if the world was a one big country, Istanbul is going to be the capital of this country, because it's very strategical, and because in between two seas, you know, the Black Sea and also Aegean Sea. The straits is connecting Black Sea countries to the Mediterranean countries. So Russia, Georgia, Ukraine, Romania, and Bulgaria, and Tuna River also connecting Germany, and also Austria, Hungary, connecting to Istanbul Straits, and also Mediterranean countries. So Istanbul Strait is very busy by vessels, and it's the only city there is a sea, also in only a city established on two continents. So Istanbul has got the biggest airport now in the world. The third airport, Istanbul Airport, was built in the north of Istanbul, and is waiting for the passengers now. Because Istanbul's airport, Atatürk Airport, it's not enough at the moment because millions of tourists are coming. And the Turkish airline is one of the biggest and the best airline in the world. And this is going to help Turkish airline, because Turkish Airlines is going to buy new aircrafts to reach the real and the biggest capacity. And it is estimated that the Turkish Airlines is going to be the biggest in the near future. So when you come to Istanbul, you're going to see some other historical places. Nikomedea, Iznik city, not far from Istanbul. Nikomedea is important because St. George was killed in Nikomedea, Iznik city, but not many Christians know about St. George martyr. He was killed, and he was martyr in Nikomedea. Nikomedea is today Kocaeli and another industrial area. And St. George is the patron of some cities also in Europe, such as Moscow and London, Ljubljana in Slovenia, and Beirut in Lebanon, and some other cities as well. So Turkey has got connections to other countries and also cities by the values, such as St. George. St. George is in English St. George, but in Greek and some Balkan languages, Yorgos, Georgios, and also in Arabic language, it's Elias, mentioned in the Quran as well. And when you go to Nisea, just 150 kilometers away from Istanbul, you can see one of the most interesting place in the world, because 4 Gospels were chosen in Nicaea. So the first Christians came together in the first council of the Christianity. They decided, Matta, Marcos, Johanna, Luca. It's in English, Mark, Luke, John, and Matthew. These Gospels were chosen in Turkey a long time ago, after Jesus, around 325. By the way, Istanbul became the capital of Byzantine Empire, 13th of May, 395. It was the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, long time, till 1204, because Istanbul was occupied by the Crusaders. When they came to Istanbul, it was Constantinopolis those days. They occupied Istanbul, and of course they left some marks in Istanbul, such as Jesus Tower, is Galata Kulesi now at the moment, and they occupied some years. Then after Eastern Romans, they got the Istanbul back again, and it stayed the capital of Byzantine Empire till 1453. When Istanbul was conquered by Fatih Sultan Mehmet, the capital of Istanbul was taken from Bursa city to Istanbul, and the Topkapi Palace was built, and Ottoman sultans governed the 3 continents, lands in Balkan states, also in Balkan states as well, Middle Eastern countries, and the North African countries. They lived together in peace. Today, Istanbul is the capital of Turkey, economical capital of Turkey, and art capital of Turkey, and cultural capital of Turkey, and many factories were built in Istanbul. That is why a lot of Turks migrated from central Anatolia to Istanbul. Today Istanbul's population is 15 million. It was 500,000 only about 1923. But today, Istanbul is 15 million. Not only Turks, but also some other nations came to Istanbul, and they are living in this beautiful city. From Syria, Syrian migrants, asylum seekers, they came, and also Afghanians, some Afghans, some Central Asians from Georgia and some other countries. They came to Turkey, and they found place to live in our country. And so I recommend you to come Turkey and visit this wonderful, beautiful city. We talked about Istanbul and the beauties of Istanbul. Istanbul is not going to be in a short program, of course, because it's too big. But we are going to talk some other cities and important places in Turkey. And please keep watching us. If you miss this program, you can watch also you can follow our YouTube channel, Natural TV. Please follow our Natural TV account on YouTube, and you can watch our TV programs there, and you can share on your social media accounts. Hope to see you again next week. See you.